Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel. Welcome to a new game that's come up quite recently. It's called Banished. It's basically a sort of survival sim city building game, which I've taken to liking quite a bit already, and it's one that I'm going to be doing just a little bit about. And I'm going to start from the beginning. Basically, I've done a little bit here already, and I just wanted to do this game because I figured, you know, it's a good way to sort of show off a game that's kind of Don't Starve-ish from the beginning and my learning process of it. So, as you can see, we've already got the beginnings of a sort of village here set up. We started actually with nothing but the villagers and this little cart here, and a population of like 10. So we've actually made quite a bit of progress. We're on hard difficulty. You can check your map seed and your everything else here on this little map thing, and this is the seed number, terrain type, blah blah blah. So things are going okay here. We're going to click resume, and we're going to go ahead and play this. So what I've built here so far, and not really sure if any of this is the best way to do things, but it feels like it is so far, is I've built a gatherer's hut, and I've built a hunting cabin over in these woods here, and it seems like all the stuff that you can forage and hunt is in these woods here. I tried it out in a field once and it didn't seem to work as well. Not sure if it works at all even out there. We're also building a bridge so that we can build another hunter cabin over here, since that's going to be a major part of our diet. We've got ourselves a forester lodge up here. We built that after we built our food sources and our houses. The food sources and houses were more important to get quickly because obviously we need places for these guys to live, and we don't need these guys replanting trees right away necessarily. We need it at some point, but not first. So 6 houses, that's enough to house everybody in this village, or it was. Now some of these people seem to have grown up and are now working, but they'll get kicked out of their house eventually, so we'll need to build more houses sooner rather than later. We've also got this blacksmith being built, because as you can see, everyone has broken their tools that we started with, because we started with very few on hard difficulty. So we're going to go ahead and let that build, make someone into a blacksmith. That'll be fine. We're going to try and get ourselves across this river, and we're going to make this sort of a three-sided city. We're going to have houses and people living on these sort of areas in around this area. So that means we can also clear out this little area here. You clear out with this remove resources button. It's the fastest, most efficient way to do it, but as you can see, we've already got ourselves a nice little startup here. We've even kept our storage cart because we could start our village basically adjacent to it, so we don't have to tear it down. Really quite useful. So once this blacksmith finishes, we'll be able to start thinking about producing some of those. We're still going to need more wood though, so we're going to go ahead, now that we can cross here, we're going to go ahead and just chop down all of these resources, bring them into town, use them all up. That'll be great, that'll be fine. Looks like our guys are all doing okay, despite the fact that it's been raining for forever. Okay, so this is done. We're going to go ahead, going to put someone in there. You can see all the people and all their jobs in this list here. It's really quite useful. The other one that I've got open is the city's generic sort of information here that gives you population information, population, season, and all that other good stuff. So very useful information there. And if we go over here, we can see how well we're doing here. And as you can see, we're getting quite a bit of venison from the hunter cabin, and we're getting a bunch of random crap from our gatherer's hut. Now, normally I also like to build a fishery, even though the fishery seems to produce less food than those buildings, but we're on a smaller river here, so I don't think that this is going to be a great place for that. So we're going to let that slide, and that will be fine, I think. So let's see here. We got one house building, that's almost done, so we're going to get them started on our next building, which is going to be another hunting cabin. I want to have a road down to it so that I know. Okay, that's peculiar. Stuff in the way. We'll just go ahead and do it like this. And the roads just speed up the movement of your guys. It's not actually all that important. And you can see the circle radius around this. This is that sort of grounds where this person will hunt, which is actually going to extend where I want to build our city, but this will be fine for now. The thing about hunting grounds and stuff like that is that they're extremely efficient compared to farms. I would not actually recommend building a farm early on in this game. but the farms take up much less space. So once you've got more people that can effectively work a farm, they produce a smaller amount of food per person, but they take up much less space. Because if we look at the sort of circle that this takes up a huge amount of area, whereas a farm just takes up a 15 by 15 square. Much more efficient on space, much less efficient on manpower. So early on, when we have no manpower, very important that we choose the right thing. Alright, so other buildings that are important, we built a woodcutter fairly early on. I think I built it right after I built the houses. The woodcutter turns firewood out of logs, so you can use that to keep your houses warm. Most people in the city have got firewood in their house, even though I've got very little stockpiled, so they're going to be fine despite the fact that it looks like we're running out of the stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to build a road out here. And we're going to build a couple more houses. Actually, no, I don't want my population growing right now. To avoid getting your population growing, you just don't build any houses and that'll be fine. I don't really feel like I want people moving out of their parents' house right now and starting families, because that will probably end in disaster. Yeah, because we are running low-ish on food reserves. It's not actually catastrophic yet, because honestly people are getting food and that's what's important. And yeah, it looks like things are going relatively okay. It's just that I think people are taking the food into their houses, and that's sort of making it seem like the food stores are really low, because honestly the food stores are really low, but what we've got is plenty of food in people's houses and people are eating plenty of food, so that's fine. Looks like things are going okay. Got a little bit of logs and we got like a little bit of everything else, so we are going to need more of logs in particular, which is sort of the way this game works, honestly, is you tend to run out of logs quite quickly. I don't know why it is that logs always run out, but whatever. So what exactly is this in the way here? I think that might be... I think that's just like a tiny little berry bush or something that's in the way of our guys here. So normally what you'd want to do is keep them there because your foragers will get at it, but in this particular case we're just going to get rid of it. Okay, so we're going to add that there, and we're going to clear out this little nubby road here. There we go. And this is a pretty basic looking start for the city. I'm not really sure if this is an optimal way to do the city, but it feels like this is a good way to do a city early on. It really feels like it's an effective sort of start to it. I'm going to keep playing the game because I'm really enjoying it, but I'm going to probably also look at the game and try and figure out if there's more efficient ways to do things, more efficient ways to plot things out. But yeah, this has really sort of worked out for me so far. Heading into winter yet again. Winter in this game, theoretically brutal. I haven't really had too much of a problem with it. It's not like Don't Starve or anything like that, but as you can see, we're still just chopping away at wood here. That's fine. Lots of firewood stocked. That's okay as well. Looks like we're also getting quite a bit of leather, so what we might want to do now is build ourselves our tailor, who will turn that into suits. And one of the reasons why I like building these hunting cabins so much, and so many of these hunting cabins, I'll actually build another one over here, is that hunting cabins produce hides, and those hides can be turned into suits by your tailor, which sell for a lot on the trading market. So we'll build a trading post along this river eventually, but we need to set up the infrastructure so that we can start building a lot of resources that we can send offshore to trade with or whatever. I don't really know what to call it. But yeah, that's going to be a big priority for us, and it's going to produce a lot of things that we could otherwise not produce here. So when you start on hard, for example, you don't start with any plant seeds whatsoever. So you can't plant anything. You can't plant... You don't get any potatoes or corn or anything like that. You have to hunt together. And if you start running out of those resources or manage those resources poorly or space poorly, you'll start to die, basically. And there's not a whole lot you can do to prevent that. So basically you want to make sure that you're getting those resources in if you think that you're about to screw up. And, you know, I'm probably going to screw up eventually, let's be honest here. So the tailor, though, produces hide. They're worth 15 currency units. They don't really ever explain what those currency units explicitly are, but, oops, they produce quite a lot of them, so it's a good idea to use tailors to produce a lot of your stuff that you're going to trade with. Okay, there we go. And we're out of logs again, so I'm getting my guys to go chop down some trees, and they're going to go ahead and do that. Once this tailor's done, though, we'll go and take another of our laborers, which do the generic work. Your laborers are quite an important part of your economy, actually. And we're going to send them over there. Our population has spiraled up to 18 somehow. I don't really know how it's possible because I haven't really built... Oh, no, actually that makes sense. Yeah, but we've got a lot of people living in these smaller houses, and that's preventing us from growing much further or faster. We are, however, going to want to keep growing a little bit so that we don't end up with, like, 80-year-olds and, like, a completely non-productive society. You can end up with a non-productive society if you do nothing to influence and increase the size of your village. So how are we doing for food? We're actually starting to get an increase in our food production and our food producing capacity, so I'm going to go ahead and build those 2 extra houses. Rotate these around here. Another house there. Okay. Now, we're eventually going to want to transition away from these wooden houses because they tend to burn down, I've found. And on a related note, we're also going to go ahead and we're going to build ourselves a well because that is theoretically used to fight fires. I have not actually seen them properly used to fight a fire yet, but, you know, may as well give it a try and hope for the best. I don't actually know if these are used to fight fires or if that's just a bunch of bullhooey, but that's what they say they do. Okay, so this area has been cleared out of forests, which is, you know, good because it's a good thing that we built this forester lodge because we're seriously running out of sustainable sources of wood. Once these guys have finished growing these new trees, we can start chopping them down. In fact, they'll start chopping them down automatically, keeping it maintained at a consistent amount, and that's really good. Let's see here. This well needs those little bits of logs before I can continue, which is kind of brutal. Not gonna lie. As you can see, things like mushrooms, I think is what these are, tend to crop up once you're in the forest area. They actually disappear when you harvest that area, and they only come back if you have forest in that area, in that region, which is why I keep this gatherer's hut in these woods here, otherwise there would be nothing there. I think now is about the time where I'm going to want to consider getting an herbalist, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Herbalists are basically shoddy medicine men. They prevent your citizens from being too sick. So it's an important part of your little city here. And I think that this is a pretty good way to start the game. As you can see, my food producing things are a little bit further off from my village, and that's because I want to be able to build my buildings without interfering with the hunting grounds here. And I don't want to build them too close to where the deer are all collaborating and where all the mushrooms are, because that ruins them, obviously. So as you can see, this has allowed us a lot of productivity from these places. Really quite good. Let's see here. And we've already used up all our leather to make these hide coats. That was pretty fast. I think people actually really needed them, so that's a good thing that we were making those. Let's see here. Yeah, we got quite a lot of hide coats already. Good. We can think about producing a trade port pretty soon based off that, but we are going to want to make it so that we're constantly producing these leather coats. And for that, we're going to want one more hunting cabin, and we're probably going to put it over here somewhere. Potentially, we could put it up here so that when we're building, we can build more places to live over in this region. Either way you look at it, it's probably going to be fine. Now, if we do build it way up here, we're going to have to build some houses, but we should be okay in that regard. I'm going to go ahead and build this bridge here. Get that started with. Now, I don't know if I really like the fact that I have to do this right now, but we're going to harvest a few of these trees in this area that replenishes them. That should be fine. And that will produce us some wood, which immediately gets snagged up. Yeah, it's technically best, I think, to wait till the forests have sort of fully grown to maturity and then harvest them, but if you need the wood, you need the wood. Yeah, and you can see that we pretty badly need it. All of our industry relies on it, so... And it is winter now, so we're actually going to turn off our blacksmith. That way he's not taking the logs, and we're also probably going to... no, we'll let that sit. But yeah, this way we'll channel more wood towards our woodcutter. It looks like people have enough stockpiled up for now, so I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, we're going to chop down a few more trees. Trees do grow back naturally without your intervention, but it's very, very slow. So it is best if you can supplement it with a woodcutter, or sorry, a forester lodge, which does things much more efficiently. Let's see, we've got quite a lot of extra labor right now, and we've got a population booming up to 21, so we're going to put more people in this forester lodge. This gatherer's hut's at maximum, and we don't want to over hunt this region, so we're going to not increase the hunting cabin beyond what it already is at, so that's fine. What are these people confused about? The citizen has no job. Be a laborer. Okay, well, let's make them builders. That ought to fix that problem. Oh, wait, we got 6 people there. That's why, that was the problem. Okay, that's fine then. Now what we can also do is pair this up with another hunter, or another gatherer lodge, and that will also ease some of our problems, since it'll hopefully get us some more food. But we're not having food problems here at all. We're actually pretty well off with all this venison. Look at that, delicious venison. So yeah, we are going to want to do one thing though, which I forgot to do. We're going to build a couple of houses down here, and that will, or just one actually is fine right now. What this is going to do is this house is going to basically be a hunter's lodge, or hunting house. The hunters will move in there, and they'll have an easier time moving to and from work, which makes things work a little bit faster. I think that we're just about ready to start harvesting wood properly from this region, so we're going to go ahead and turn this back on. They're out of wood already, but pretty soon we should start cutting down these extra trees here, so that should be fine. And that should be us in a relatively good position. Or we could just manually tell them to cut it all down, I guess, but that's probably not necessary given the circumstances. What is the radius of this anyway? Yeah. Okay. And at any rate, I think that this is a pretty good start for us in this game. I've been enjoying it a lot. I'll probably keep playing it, and anyway, I hope you found this enjoyable. And as always, I hope to see you all next time. Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to Banished, and I'm going to continue along with what I was doing before. So as you can see, we've basically not done a whole lot since our last episode. I wanted to make sure that I got as much of this as possible, because this is a learning process for me, as opposed to something that I'm already confident about, but I think we're doing pretty well here. So we've built another Hunter's Lodge up here. We're going to go ahead and build a road for it, leading down to about, let's give it to about here. We'll get that to then cut across here, and from here we'll have it go down to our bridge, so that'll be fine. And there we go. So now we've got ourselves a nice another path that's going to lead to another hunting cabin, and that's going to keep enough stuff for our tailor to be busy. Once that's set up and established, we'll go ahead and we will build our trading post. For now, as you can see, our population has been going up pretty quickly, so we're going to want to get more food here. That's why I've got this gatherer's hut started down here. Let's go ahead and accelerate the number of builders we have. I'm going to turn on the event logs actually, just in case something happens. As you can see, we've got plenty of people becoming born, new people coming into the world, and they need tools, so we're going to go ahead and do this as well. Now that this place has sort of established itself, it's got a whole lot of animals loitering around in it, which I think is good-ish, but it's not really necessary since we aren't going to be using this as a persistent sort of wood source. We're going to be using this, or we're going to be using this as a persistent wood source, not a persistent food source. So we're probably going to end up chopping all that down before we can really capitalize on the animals living in it. If you look at our stores here, we're starting to run a little bit low on wood and stone, so we're going to go ahead and harvest the stone as well, and that should help us out quite a bit. This Hunter's Lodge just about complete, so we're going to go ahead and zoom ahead here. And once this is done, I feel pretty confident that we're going to be in a good position as far as our ability to sustain ourselves go. As you can see, we're still doing okay for food, and we're still putting food in this little truck here because I managed to keep it. Normally what you want to do is actually chop it down so that it all goes into your storage bin, but not really necessary in our case, which is a happy thing. Means that we've got a little bit more storage space than we otherwise normally would. We're also building this gatherer's hut, and that means we're going to need another group of people who live down here on a persistent basis, so I'm going to build a house there as well, and those people will work as gatherers in this area, and the other people in the other house opposite are going to live as hunters in the hunting cabin, so that's going to be fine. What I'm confused about is why they can't just live in these buildings. It seems like that would be more reasonable to me, but whatever. Alright, so there we go. Got progress on this place again. Okay, good. 2 more people living there. That's good. And let's have 1 more person working here. Okay, I'm going to limit this to 2 per hunting cabin, because you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 6. And by changing it to 2 per hunting cabin, we'll make sure that we've got the right percentages of people in these buildings, so 2 in each. And this is fine in the gathering lodge, so we should be getting a little bit more food now that we've got that, but it is honestly going to take these guys quite a while to get to where they're going. Just for the ease of that, we're also going to build these guys some houses. It's going to be right here, and that will let them travel quickly to and from their house and to the village as necessary. So we're running low on firewood yet again, but it's not quite as bad as it was the last time I was looking at it, wherein we didn't actually have any firewood, so we're okay. Or rather, I'm going to ignore the problem and pretend it's okay. Perfect. So we are quite low on wood as a resource. No, actually we got plenty of logs. That's going to be enough to do what we're doing. And once you're at this stage, it's about time that I think about getting a trading post. How much clothes have I got? I got a lot. I've got 35. That's not exactly a ton. I would honestly like more, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to think about getting ourselves a trading dock, which is here. And let's see if I can fit this here. No, I can't. Let's see if I can fit it. Yeah, we can fit it here really nicely. That's perfect. Okay, so once we get that trading dock up and running, we'll be able to have a trading merchant come by from time to time who will potentially trade us for coats, is what we're going to be giving him. And they're worth a ton of money. They're hard to make, and that's why we've got so many hunting lodges. And once we've sort of got them, that makes our lives a little bit easier in that we'll be able to use those as currency. And we don't really need them, strictly speaking, so we can sort of stockpile a lot of them in this place and it'll work out just fine. It'll be perfect. Not building that's a little bit of a shame, but that's probably also okay. How are we doing for resources here? We've got quite a bit of stone. We're running out of iron, so we'll go ahead and we'll harvest a little bit more iron. Not really sure where we've got any. There's a little bit there. Is there any here? No. There we go. That ought to be enough. Let's see here. We've got more labor. Goodness. Population is just booming right now. We're up to 33 people, which is a little bit faster than I honestly like. So we're going to try and mostly chill at that population, were it not for the fact that we've already got houses on the way, but we are doing okay for food. It's not like in a good position for food, but we're okay for food. We could increase the number of hunters though, since we've got so many people, or gatherers rather. That's going to help out a little bit. Now the strange thing is, once we get this trading port, we'll be able to trade for seeds, and we'll be able to start harvesting a lot of food, but the harvest is not necessarily a very good steady food source, so you'll still want to keep all your hunting lodges and gathering lodges once you've got that going, so do keep that in mind. It's not really the best source of food income in the game, or rather it's not the most consistent exactly. And it looks like there's a good chunk of iron up here, so we'll go ahead and get that as well. Alright, so I think our village is starting to really thrive here, I think. Or at least I feel that way. there is always the danger that you're going too fast, thriving too much, and then suddenly just have a cataclysm that destroys everything, wipes everything out. We're getting to the point where I feel like our citizens are going to start dying off a little bit, so we're going to go into our city services, and let's build a cemetery, and it'll, let's build it here. So, big cemetery across the river, that way we won't have to expand it too often. Cemeteries actually increase happiness for some reason. It's because, like, it gives a peace of mind to the people, I guess, and the citizens, and they say, okay, well, he's at peace now, instead of, I guess, he got tossed into the river and floated downstream. Which I suppose might upset some people. I'm not the sort of person to be upset by that, but that's just me, because I'm a crazy person, I guess. I'm not really sure. We desperately need more iron, so we're going to go ahead and turn off our blacksmith. And always remember, you can turn off buildings. I mean, it's a legitimate way to save resources that you need for an important project, and in fact, I think it's a sort of crucial way to do that. That's too far away, I think. Let's see here. Iron there. And let's turn down the number of builders so that we get more people harvesting iron. Big iron field over here, so we'll go ahead and take that. It's nice that there is all this exposed iron just sitting out there for the taking, but it's kind of odd, I think. But that is actually... Well, no, not really with iron. Iron was hard to get because you had to get it out of ores usually. The only time you had exposed iron like that, I think, was from meteorite strikes. So apparently this place is just incredibly susceptible to meteors. Good to know. Still not building this house, huh? Alright, well, whatever. Okay, this place. Let's check how productive they are. 8 leather and 320 venison. That's not actually all that good, so there's something wrong with this place. And I suspect it's because this wooden house is not being built, which would really speed up their travel times. Now, something else we could consider, since we got this big glut of stone, is that we could start increasing the speed through the center of our town by upgrading our roads. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll send it out to here, in that one direction. We'll send it down to here. And this provides a better speed boost than the normal dirt road, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It takes up a lot of stone to do a project like this, but it's sometimes worth it. Let's see here. Let's also do it here. Oops. Oh well. That's fine. Okay, and we're not going to do it all the way out to here because that's a bit too crazy. So if we look here, got a builder and a hunter. That's actually fine. That means that one hunter is commuting from way too far, but that's okay. It looks like it's because they're married to someone who lives here. So that's okay. Graveyard, just about done. That's good. Looks like we can go back up on builders just a little bit. And let's go ahead and get our blacksmith back up and running. I think we've got enough iron now that that's a reasonable thing to do. Perfect. Okay, so things are going pretty well here. At this point, all I really want to do is start getting animals, and I want to start getting other things of that nature. So we're going to need someone working in this trading outpost. We're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to just start piling in hide coats here. Up until the point where we get like a wheat farm, and we start harvesting wheat for beer. And once we start getting a lot of beer, we'll be able to sell that or trade that as our primary resource, but for now, hide coats are pretty much where it's at, so we're going to have to really step up production of our hide coats, because I think you need something like 150 of them for one thing of seeds. Seeds in this game, too expensive. Just way too expensive. But, you know, that's what they decided to do, so that is what it is. Okay, we're going to spot cut some of these woods here. Just because we're short on wood again, and they'll grow back anyway, so it's fine. Okay, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and harvest these trees as well. I've already got people set to harvest them, apparently. That's fine. Alright, so our population, we're up to 36 people. We've got 10 young uns in the village, so we're going to go ahead and actually start building a school. And in this game, you might as well just constantly be using pretty much all your resources, as far as I can tell. I mean, we're constantly low on resources, but you may as well use the ones that you've got. So, actually, that's a lot of wood. So we might not want to do that quite yet. So, tricky. We might have to build another forester lodge somewhere. I'm thinking probably east of those guys, but we'll see. And looks like we still want one more hunting lodge even, which is quite unfortunate. I don't really have any other great places to build one unless I just build one right here, and it won't operate very efficiently, honestly, but might be what we have to do. Okay, our cemetery's built, that's good. I think these people have probably... oh no, they've got the trader living there. Okay. Well, we can stop harvesting iron for quite some time, it looks like. We look pretty well off as far as that goes. Let's see. Let's build a house over here. And that'll sort of be the limit of this town, I think. We're gonna drop down the number of builders all the way down here. Okay. Still no trader heading into town, that's fine. How are we doing for food here? Looks like we're mostly still subsisting on venison, quite a lot of it, which is to be expected when you've got that many hunter lodges, so that's perfectly fine. Okay, so this has mostly turned to old growth, so our guys have gotten really to work hatcheting it all down. That's fine. Let's see here. How many coats have we got? We've got 82 coats in our trade port. It's good. We're going to want more, though. And let's see how are we doing for production here. It's still about 16 per season in that one. Still going to be pretty much similar here, 20 per season in this one. And over here in our gatherers, let's check here actually in our other one, 16 per season. Huh, that's odd. Alright, so let's increase our herb limit to 200 just in case we get an epidemic. And that should be pretty much fine. We should be okay with that. I'm considering building a fishing place just because I don't think there's anything else we can really put down here. Yeah, so we can put a fishing dock here. Seems like that's reasonable. There we go. And this will help supplement our diet a little bit even further. You know, the protein instead of just venison all the time. And it looks like we're out of rocks, so we're going to have to go harvest those. Fortunately, I've seen plenty of those lying around. And let's go ahead and pick them up. Okay, and we got plenty of generic laborers right now. We got 14 of the bastards running around, so should be okay as far as that goes. We're going to have to do something about all this iron just so that we get rid of it all, because we sure have a lot of it. Okay. Still no trade ship. It's taking its dear sweet time to get here. Okay, so how are we doing? We've got 39 people living in our little city here, little town. That's good. Don't want to increase the limit on fuel. Let's go ahead and build ourselves that school now, I guess. It's better to get it at some point, I suppose. Okay. What school does is it makes the people who go to it better at their jobs, whatever occupation they end up choosing. So it's a good way to make your citizens more efficient theoretically. I'm not actually sure how true that is, though, of what it does. But that's what it claims it does, so that's fine. Why is that already set to 2? Oh, no, wait, that's people building it. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I thought the fishing dock was finished, actually, but apparently not. Okay. Do you know what would make this more efficient, actually, is if I built a bridge across there. So I might go ahead and do that. Yeah, we can do that. There we go. And that way they can get across and hunt on that side of the river. Yeah, there we go, fishing dock. Let's just get a couple people on there. Actually, no, we may as well cap that out. Since we have got a lot of laborers. Tons and tons of laborers. Okay, we're gonna want to do something about that pretty shortly. I'm not really sure what we want to do in particular, because we haven't got that trade guy still. Okay, we're probably going to get another forester is what we're going to do. We'll put it down here for now, but actually... Not 100% sure where I would want a new forester. I'm probably going to put it over here, I think. We'll put it out here, which is quite far away, but that's fine. I want this to not contain the river, so there is good. Okay. Get this dirt road stretched out here. Problem with this is like I can't see the dirt road because it's winter. Okay, I think that's right. There we go. And now let's continue getting some stones here. Okay, and with another forester lodge we should be able to continue along with what we want to be doing, which is getting firewood, because that looks like it's quite a problem right now. Winter has ended though, so the fact that we've run out of firewood doesn't really matter all that much because our citizens never got to that point where they were cold, so that's okay. Let's get a teacher. I want my people to be more productive. Oh shit, trader's here. Okay, I probably can't afford the thing I want here. Peach seeds, yeah. So this is going to actually... I'm going to just show you how much this costs here. So we get 1,395 value from our hide coats. We need 2,500 for one thing of peach seeds, so that's sort of a representation of how bizarre that is. So we're going to have to go ahead and continue doing what we're doing. We could also try and get tools over there or something, but like that's pretty absurd in terms of how much they want for that. Alright. So, ironically, the Forester Lodge, we're going to have to wait till we get quite a lot more wood. But since we're going to get a Forester Lodge there anyway, it doesn't actually matter if we harvest some wood from that area. Okay, so our people are looking a little bit cold. Nothing too terrible, though, so that's fine. For this Forester Lodge, we'll have to build some houses as well, so we'll go ahead and do that. Which, again, takes a lot of wood, but that is the nature of this game. It's using wood the game. Okay, there we go. And that'll be enough to put 2 people into that Forester Lodge, which is pretty good. Okay, let's get the maximum number of builders that we can get. That'll be helpful. And it looks like we're starting to finally catch up a little bit on our wood production, but our graveyard's still empty. That's good. No one's died yet. Let's see here. Hunting cabin, that's fine now. And that's getting built. A lot of stuff needs getting built. A lot of rocks need getting harvested. Okay, there we go. Okay, and these guys are going to have to go get themselves some supplies, but that's fine. Okay, this thing's done. Let's go ahead and give it the maximum of 4. And that is some interesting music that has decided to kick in. I'm not sure what I think about that, but whatever. Okay, we got enough stone, I think, that I can cobble my way up to here, so might be a good idea. It's pretty far. This will save them some time. Okay, there we go. We'll go ahead and we'll cut down some more stone here. And we don't need quite this many builders right now, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, reserve of firewood is low, reserve of stone is still low, so yeah, it's a good thing we're chopping down that wood, those logs, or that stone, rather. Okay, so anyway, this is that phase of the game where, like, as you can see, I didn't really get a whole lot done, but things are progressing pretty steadily and pretty smoothly for us, so we're not worried about food right now. We're a little bit worried about the way our wood situation is going, but honestly, that's not too big a deal. It's just that at this point in time, we're going to want to consider thinking about improving our outcome through trade. It's just that we don't have the resources for that yet. We're going to actually increase the number in inventory of hide coats to 250, 260, whatever. Let's just go with, there we go. So once we've gotten enough of those, we'll be able to sell them for as much money as we really need. But the problem is, of course, getting enough hides for this guy to keep busy. It's just not happening because, like, he works really quickly. It takes 2 to make a hide suit or whatever, and he just goes through them like they're nothing. So yeah, it's a good idea to keep that in mind. But anyway, I hope you found this enjoyable. I'm enjoying this game quite a lot. And as always, I hope to see you all next time. Next time, we'll have fast-forwarded quite a bit to show you a much larger, more dense city. So don't be surprised if things change quite a bit the next time you see this village. Anyway, I hope you found this enjoyable, and as always, I hope to see you all next time.